In the beginning, the gods were born incomplete. They arrived hungry. They arrived uncertain. They arrived needing time to become what they would one day represent. Zeus was raised in hiding, fed by a goat, shielded from a father who devoured his own children. Hera grew into power through marriage, shaped by jealousy and authority rather than birthright. Ares learned war through bloodshed, learning too late that strength without restraint leads only to ruin. But Athena was different. Athena did not grow into herself. She emerged already whole. When the moment came, there was no crying infant, no trembling first breath, no slow awakening to divinity. There was only the sound of bronze against bone, the echo of thunder splitting thought itself, and the sudden appearance of a goddess fully armed, fully conscious, and already aware of her place in the order of the cosmos. Her birth was not natural. It was inevitable. The ancient poets did not describe Athena's arrival as a miracle. They described it as a necessity, something that had been building unseen, gathering pressure, until the mind of the king of the gods could no longer contain it. Zeus, ruler of Olympus, master of thunder, had conquered titans and bound ancient chaos beneath the earth. He had established law where there had once been endless struggle. Yet even Zeus was not immune to consequence. The pain began as a whisper, a tightening behind the eyes, a pulse beneath the skull, a pressure that did not fade. No storm could distract him from it. No command could silence it. The god who ruled the sky found himself brought low by something within. It was not illness. It was not punishment. It was creation. When Zeus finally summoned Hephaestus and commanded him to strike, it was not an act of desperation. It was an act of acceptance. Whatever had taken root in his mind could not be suppressed, negotiated with, or delayed any longer. The blow fell, and from the fracture of divine thought stepped Athena. She did not stumble. She did not look around in confusion. She raised her spear, struck her shield, and announced herself not with words, but with presence. The other gods recoiled, not because she threatened them, but because she did not need to. Athena was not born of desire like Aphrodite. She was not born of vengeance like the Erinyes. She was not born of chaos like the Titans. She was born of reason. And reason, when paired with power, is unsettling. From the moment of her arrival, Athena was aligned with order. Not the rigid order of tyranny, but the structured order of systems, planning, foresight, and consequence. She did not exist to disrupt Zeus's rule. She existed to make it sustainable. This is why Athena would never rebel against her father. This is also why she would never be entirely free of him. Her loyalty was not emotional, it was functional. Athena understood something the other gods often ignored. Power without intelligence collapses. Violence without restraint devours itself. Authority without wisdom invites rebellion. Athena was the answer to these truths, but to understand her fully, the story must move backward to the goddess who never truly died. Because Athena was not created from Zeus alone. She was inherited. Before Athena existed, wisdom already did. It did not wear armor. It did not sit on a throne. It did not command armies or cities. It adapted. The Greeks called her Metis. Metis was older than Olympus, older than Zeus's reign, older even than the certainty that the gods would always rule. She was not simply intelligent. She was intelligence in motion. The ability to shift, to change, to respond faster than force could react. Metis represented a kind of power the early cosmos feared most. Not strength, not violence, but foresight. She could predict outcomes before they unfolded. She understood not only what was happening, but what would happen next, and how one small decision could ripple forward into catastrophe or survival. This made her indispensable. It also made her dangerous. Zeus desired Metis not merely as a companion, but as an asset. By uniting with her, he believed he could stabilize his rule, ensuring that no prophecy would ever catch him unprepared. In this, Zeus was not wrong. But prophecy is not something that can be outmaneuvered indefinitely. A warning emerged, whispered through the fabric of fate itself. Metis would bear 2 children. The first would be wiser than Zeus. The second would be stronger. The pattern was unmistakable. Zeus had overthrown his father, Cronus, who had devoured his own children to escape prophecy. Zeus had promised himself he would be different. But fear does not care about promises. Zeus did not strike Metis down. He did not banish her. He did not bind her in chains. He swallowed her. This act is often misunderstood as cruelty. It was strategy. By consuming Metis, Zeus believed he had neutralized the threat while retaining the benefit. Wisdom would become part of him. Prophecy would be absorbed rather than fulfilled. The future would be contained within the present. What Zeus did not understand was that wisdom cannot be destroyed. It only changes form. Metis did not vanish. She continued to think. She continued to advise. She continued to shape. Within Zeus's mind, Metis became something new. Her knowledge fused with his authority. Her adaptability tempered his raw power. And from that fusion, Athena began to form. Athena was not an accident of biology. She was the consequence of fear. Zeus's attempt to escape prophecy did not prevent it. It transformed it. Athena would indeed be wiser. Athena did not need to fight for her place on Olympus. It was already waiting for her. From the moment of her birth, Zeus recognized something different in this daughter. Not affection, not tenderness, but alignment. Athena did not challenge his authority, did not test boundaries, did not seek worship through spectacle or fear. She observed, and in a court filled with gods driven by desire, rivalry, and pride, observation itself became power. Athena took her place beside Zeus, not as an heir, but as an extension of his rule. Where Zeus embodied authority, Athena embodied judgment. Where Zeus delivered commands, Athena ensured those commands made sense. The other gods noticed quickly. Hera ruled through status and marriage. Poseidon ruled through force and memory. Apollo ruled through prophecy and performance. Ares ruled through chaos and blood. Athena ruled through clarity. This made her dangerous. The gods trusted Athena not because she was gentle, but because she was consistent. She did not change her standards based on affection or anger. When she intervened, it was because a system was failing. Athena was the goddess of thinking before acting. This is why Zeus relied on her. In councils of the gods, Athena often spoke last. Not because she lacked confidence, but because she waited until the full shape of the problem revealed itself. When she spoke, The argument ended. Her words did not persuade through emotion. They resolved through logic. This dynamic shaped Athena's identity as a war goddess. Unlike Ares, who delighted in combat, Athena approached war as an extension of governance. War, in her domain, was a tool, one to be used sparingly, efficiently, and only when necessary. Victory mattered less than outcome. A city preserved was better than a city conquered. A war avoided was better than a war won. Athena taught this philosophy to mortals. She became the patron of generals, not berserkers, of tacticians, not champions, of those who understood that survival depended on planning, not bravado. In myth, Athena rarely appears on the battlefield without purpose. When she does, it is often to correct imbalance, to restrain reckless heroes, to guide the outcome toward stability rather than annihilation. This is why she clashes repeatedly with Ares. Their conflict is not personal, it is ideological. Ares represents war as impulse. Athena represents war as discipline. Ares charges forward. Athena measures distance, supply, morale, and consequence. When Athena defeats Ares, it is not through brute force. It is through exposure. Athena's influence among mortals was not accidental. It was deliberate. Unlike gods who demanded worship through fear or desire, Athena cultivated something different. She selected, she instructed, she tested. Athena did not favor heroes because they were strong. She favored them because they could learn. Her relationship with humanity was built on the belief that intelligence could be taught, refined, and disciplined. Mortals, unlike gods, could not rely on immortality. They survived through preparation, ingenuity, and restraint. Athena became the divine embodiment of these traits. She was the goddess who taught humans how to build cities that would last, how to fight wars that would end, how to govern without collapsing into tyranny or chaos. Her patronage of Athens illustrates this philosophy. When Athena offered the olive tree, she was not offering spectacle. She was offering sustainability. The olive tree did not conquer land. It adapted to it. It provided food, oil, wood, and trade. It encouraged patience and long-term thinking. Athens, under Athena's guidance, became a city defined by law, debate, and craft. Not perfect, not gentle, but structured. This was Athena's ideal civilization, a place where reason moderated power. Her influence over heroes followed the same pattern. Athena did not create heroes, she refined them. Odysseus is the clearest example. Unlike Achilles, who embodied raw martial excellence, Odysseus embodied cunning. He survived not because he was the strongest, but because he thought ahead. Athena guided him not by removing danger, but by sharpening his judgment. She did not prevent his suffering. She made it survivable. This distinction matters. Athena's favor did not guarantee safety. It guaranteed clarity. When heroes ignored her guidance, the consequences were severe. When they respected it, they endured. Perseus succeeded not through strength alone, but through preparation. Athena provided tools, not victory. A shield polished to reflection. Knowledge of how to face Medusa without meeting her gaze. Athena did not fight Perseus's battles. She taught him how not to lose. This pattern repeats throughout Greek myth. Athena appears not at moments of triumph, but at moments of decision. She intervenes when the wrong choice would lead to irreversible loss. Her lessons were not comforting. They were corrective. Athena believed mortals could rise above impulse, but only if they accepted discipline. This belief made her unforgiving. When mortals challenged Athena's authority, It was not treated as harmless pride. It was treated as a threat to order itself. The myth of Arachne illustrates this clearly. Arachne was skilled, exceptionally so. Athena did not deny this, but skill without humility becomes defiance. When Arachne challenged Athena, she was not merely seeking recognition. She was rejecting the hierarchy that preserved balance. Athena's punishment was not revenge. It was containment. Before Athena, justice was personal. Wrongs were answered with blood. Crimes were repaid through retaliation. Family answered family, generation after generation. The gods themselves upheld this system. Zeus punished, Apollo avenged. The Erinyes hunted. Justice was not measured. It was unleashed. Athena changed this. Her most profound intervention does not occur on a battlefield, but in a courtroom. The story of Orestes is not simply a myth of murder. It is a myth of transition. A moment where the ancient world begins to imagine a future not governed entirely by revenge. Orestes kills his mother, Clytemnestra, to avenge his father, Agamemnon. This act is sanctioned by Apollo, yet condemned by the Erinyes, ancient spirits who exist to punish blood crimes. The conflict is impossible to resolve within the old system. If Orestes is punished, Apollo's authority is undermined. If he is freed, the Erinyes' purpose is erased. The cycle cannot continue without destroying itself. This is where Athena intervenes. She does not choose a side. She changes the structure. Athena establishes a court, placing judgment in the hands of citizens rather than gods driven by allegiance. Evidence replaces impulse. Deliberation replaces bloodshed. When the vote is split, Athena casts the deciding ballot, not to absolve murder, but to end the cycle. The Erinyes are not destroyed. They are transformed, given a new role as protectors rather than avengers. This is Athena's genius. She does not eliminate forces. She reassigns them. Athena's justice is not soft. It is stabilizing. It accepts that violence exists, but refuses to allow it to rule unchecked. This moment defines her as more than a war goddess. She becomes the architect of civilization's moral framework. Justice becomes institutional. Law replaces vendetta. Order replaces endless grief. This is why Athena's influence extends beyond myth. She represents the moment humanity begins to believe conflict can be managed without annihilation. But this clarity comes at a cost. Athena's justice is impersonal. It does not comfort victims. It does not satisfy rage. It does not promise emotional closure. It promises continuity. Athena's mercy is cold because it is designed to last. This is why she remains distant. Unlike maternal goddesses, Athena does not nurture. She structures. She teaches restraint, not release. Her virginity is symbolic. She is untouched by desire because desire compromises judgment. Athena's authority depends on distance. She cannot afford to love deeply. She must see clearly. This isolation shapes her interactions with both gods and mortals. Athena is trusted, but not confided in. Revered, but rarely embraced. She stands alone because her role requires it. Wisdom, in Greek myth, is not warmth. It is endurance. Athena's greatest gift is not victory. It is survival beyond chaos. And this makes her the most enduring goddess of them all. Athena is remembered as a goddess of wisdom. But wisdom in Greek myth is not gentle. It is corrective. It intervenes when boundaries are crossed, not to comfort, but to restore balance. Athena does not punish out of anger or jealousy. She punishes when order is threatened by excess. This distinction is often lost. Many of Athena's harshest myths are misunderstood as cruelty. In reality, they reveal her central function, preserving limits in a world where gods and mortals constantly test them. The most famous of these stories is that of Arachne. Arachne is not a villain. She is a mortal woman of exceptional skill. Her weaving surpasses all others, and she claims, publicly, that even Athena could not rival her work. This is not simple arrogance. It is a challenge to hierarchy. Athena does not respond immediately. She disguises herself as an old woman and warns Arachne to show humility. The warning is not a trap. It is an opportunity to withdraw without consequence. Arachne refuses. The contest proceeds. The tapestries are flawless. Athena herself acknowledges this. But Arachne's work depicts the gods' transgressions, their deceptions, their abuses, their betrayals. The problem is not the truth. The problem is exposure without restraint. Athena destroys the tapestry, not because it is false, but because it destabilizes reverence. The gods are not meant to be defended through secrecy, but neither are they to be stripped of authority by unchecked criticism. Athena transforms Arachne into a spider. This act is not erasure, it is containment. Arachne continues to weave endlessly, but her work no longer challenges the cosmic order. Skill remains, but influence is reduced. Athena does not silence talent, she limits its reach. This pattern repeats throughout her myths. Medusa's story follows similar logic. Medusa is punished within Athena's temple after being violated by Poseidon. Modern interpretations often portray Athena as cruel for punishing the victim. But within the mythic framework, Athena's response reflects her role as guardian of sacred boundaries. A violation has occurred within a space dedicated to order and restraint. The temple has been defiled. Athena's punishment is directed at the disruption, not the desire. Medusa is transformed into something that enforces distance. Her gaze turns trespassers to stone. She becomes a deterrent, not an object. Even in punishment, Athena assigns function. Medusa's head later becomes a protective symbol on Athena's shield. The transgression, Athena does not create heroes, she refines them. This distinction matters. Where other gods overpower mortals with gifts, curses, or brute intervention, Athena works differently. She does not remove danger. She teaches how to survive it. Her presence in heroic myths is quiet, deliberate, and strategic. She stands behind decisions, not in front of them. This is why Athena appears most often in stories of intelligence, endurance, and restraint. She is not drawn to raw strength. She is drawn to potential that can be shaped. No hero reflects this relationship more clearly than Odysseus. Odysseus is not the strongest Greek at Troy. He is not the fastest. He is not the most noble. But he thinks. And Athena values thought above all else. From the Trojan horse to the long return home, Athena's influence is constant. Yet she never completes Odysseus's trials for him. She advises, she obscures, she delays, she reveals. She allows him to fail when failure teaches caution. She intervenes only when the lesson has been learned. When Odysseus faces monsters, Athena does not strike them down. She offers insight. When he navigates gods and kings, she gives counsel, not commands. Even in Ithaca, as Odysseus prepares to reclaim his home, Athena disguises him. She tests his patience. She watches as he restrains his anger. Only when he proves control does she allow violence. Athena does not reward impulse. She rewards preparation. This mentorship defines her role in myth. She assists Perseus in slaying Medusa, but she does not kill Medusa herself. She provides tools, a shield polished to reflection, guidance on approach, but Perseus must act. She supports Heracles, but she does not soften his labors. She offers direction when his strength alone is insufficient. Athena is present at turning points, never at shortcuts. This makes her mentorship demanding. Heroes favored by Athena are not protected from pain. They are expected to endure it intelligently. This also explains why Athena has little patience for those who refuse guidance. Ajax the Lesser defies her authority and suffers immediate consequence. Diomedes earns her favor because he listens. When Athena grants him the ability to see gods on the battlefield, she does so temporarily, and only because he will not abuse it. Athena's trust is conditional. She withdraws it when discipline falters. This mentorship mirrors her broader role in civilization. Athena is not a goddess of destiny. She is a goddess of decision-making. She appears where choices matter. Her heroes are not chosen because they are righteous, but because they are adaptable. Odysseus lies. Perseus hesitates. Diomedes doubts. Athena works with imperfection. What she does not tolerate is recklessness. This is why she stands opposed to Ares, not just as an enemy, but as a philosophical opposite. Athena does not conquer cities. She is chosen by them. This difference defines her relationship with humanity more than any battlefield victory or heroic alliance. The story of Athens is not about divine domination. It is about selection. And the god Athena competes against is not a minor figure. It is Poseidon, lord of the seas, earth shaker, bearer of storms and destruction. When a new city rises in Attica, both gods seek to become its patron. The land is valuable, strategically placed, fertile enough to sustain a growing population. But more importantly, it represents the future of human civilization. The gods do not fight for it with weapons. They compete through offerings. Poseidon strikes the earth with his trident. From the ground springs a powerful gift, either a saltwater spring or a mighty horse, depending on the version of the myth. The gift represents dominance, speed, military strength, expansion. Poseidon offers power that overwhelms. Athena's offering is quieter. She plants an olive tree, a slow-growing, resilient tree that provides food, oil, wood, and light. Not glory, sustainability. The citizens choose Athena. This decision defines Athens for centuries. It is not a rejection of strength, but a preference for longevity. The olive tree feeds, it fuels, it endures drought and time. Athena's gift represents civilization, agriculture, trade, craftsmanship, law. Poseidon's gift represents force. Athena wins not because she is stronger. She wins because her vision extends further. This moment encapsulates her identity. Athena does not promise conquest. She promises stability. The rivalry does not end with the decision. Poseidon reacts with anger. Floods threaten the land. Storms rage. But Athena does not respond with violence. She reinforces structure. Walls are built. Institutions form. The city adapts. Athens survives because it thinks. This myth explains why Athena becomes inseparable from the city's identity. She is not merely its protector. She is its philosophy. The Parthenon stands not as a temple of fear, but of intellect. Athena's image dominates not through intimidation, but through presence. Her armor is symbolic. Her weapons are precise. She stands calm, observing. Athena embodies what Athens wants to become: rational, measured, innovative. Her rivalry with Poseidon reflects a deeper tension in Greek thought: nature versus order, impulse versus planning, power versus wisdom. Athena does not eliminate Poseidon. The sea remains dangerous, storms still come. But civilization learns how to navigate them. Athena is born from Zeus, but she is not ruled by him. This distinction defines her position among the Olympians. From the moment she emerges fully formed from Zeus's head, Athena is different from every other god. She is not raised. She does not mature. She arrives complete. This grants her immediate authority. She is not a child seeking approval. She is an equal presence. Zeus recognizes this. Among all his children, gods born of passion, deception, and desire, Athena alone shares his domain of reasoned rule. She is not bound to Hera's marriage politics, Apollo's prophetic obsession, or Ares's hunger for chaos. Athena governs thought. This places her closer to Zeus than any other deity. She sits beside him in council. She carries the aegis, a symbol of sovereign authority. She enforces his will not as an enforcer, but as an interpreter. When Zeus hesitates, Athena clarifies. When Zeus rages, Athena redirects. Their relationship is not sentimental. It is strategic. Zeus values Athena because she stabilizes his reign. She does not threaten him. She does not seek the throne. Her power is different. She strengthens the system rather than competing within it. This makes her indispensable. Unlike other gods who challenge Zeus openly, Hera through rebellion, Poseidon through rivalry, Apollo through prophecy, Athena challenges through counsel. She questions decisions. She offers alternatives. She does not undermine. This earns trust. Yet Athena is not submissive. In the Iliad, she actively opposes Zeus's immediate desires when they threaten long-term balance. She supports heroes Zeus disfavors. She influences outcomes subtly, without defiance. This ability to oppose without revolt is rare. It places Athena in a category beyond loyalty or rebellion. She is alignment. Athena aligns with order itself, not with individuals. This is why she can act independently without fracturing Olympus. Other gods require permission. Athena requires justification. Her authority among the Olympians reflects this status. Even gods stronger than her respect her. Ares fears her judgment. Apollo debates her logic. Hera tolerates her autonomy. Poseidon resents her influence. Athena is not loved. She is acknowledged. Her virginity reinforces this separation. She does not form alliances through marriage. She does not produce heirs who could complicate succession. Her power remains singular, undiluted. This also protects Zeus. Athena cannot be used as leverage against him. She stands alone. Her closeness to Zeus does not mean agreement in all things. She opposes his indulgence. She compensates for his impulsiveness. She moderates his excess. In doing so, she becomes the unseen architecture of Olympus. Zeus rules. Athena ensures the rule functions. This is why Athena rarely appears in myths of divine scandal. She does not seduce. She does not betray. She does not scheme for dominance. Her domain is maintenance, systems, stability. In a pantheon driven by emotion, Athena is an anomaly. She operates like law rather than passion. Her presence prevents Olympus from collapsing into constant conflict. When gods quarrel, Athena mediates. When mortals challenge gods, Athena enforces consequence. She preserves the separation between divine authority and mortal aspiration. This role is subtle, but it is foundational. Without Athena, Zeus's reign would be loud but unstable. With her, it endures. Athena's loyalty is not blind. It is principled. She supports Zeus because he represents cosmic order. If he did not, Athena does not fade. Unlike gods whose relevance dissolves with belief, Athena persists because she was never built on worship alone. She was constructed as a function. Wisdom does not expire. Strategy does not age. Disciplined force does not become obsolete. As temples fell and sacrifices ended, Athena transitioned seamlessly from deity to archetype. She survived not in shrines, but in systems, in law, in warfare, in architecture, in governance, in education. Her symbols outlived Olympus. The owl became knowledge. The shield became defense without aggression. The spear became precision rather than domination. Cities continued to call themselves her heirs long after they stopped calling her name. Athens did not remember Athena because she was divine. It remembered her because she worked. Her legacy is visible wherever power is restrained by thought, where leadership favors planning over impulse, where victory is achieved without annihilation. She is present in military doctrine that values intelligence over force, in political philosophy that prioritizes structure over charisma, in engineering that chooses efficiency over spectacle. Athena's war was never about blood. It was about outcome. This is why she remains relevant in a modern world that distrusts gods but depends on systems. Athena represents. If this retelling reframed Athena, not as a distant goddess, but as a living structure of wisdom and restraint, then the work of myth is still active. Subscribe to Mythos for long-form, slow-burn mythological documentaries that uncover what the stories actually preserved. Leave a comment with the next god, titan, or legend whose reputation deserves re-examination. Because myths do not survive by being believed. They survive by being understood.